this is why I accepted Islam. This is why. I looked at these evidences. I said, this book, in my head, it's more than likely that this is a messenger on behalf of our Creator. The word day in singular has been mentioned 365 times in the Quran, which is the amount of days in a year. The word month in singular has been mentioned 12 times. This one's crazy. The word sea is mentioned 32 times, and the word land is mentioned 13. If you do 13, what is that?
Plus 32
Plus
equals 45% of sea. 32 divided by 45 times 100 equals 71.111% of land. Equals 13 divided by 45 times 100 equals 28.88. Modern scientists currently has discovered that those numbers represent the exact proportions of surface area of sea and land.
Bro.
The word life.
I couldn't read and write, bro.
That was
he couldn't read and write, Julian Dory.
The word man is mentioned. The word man is mentioned 24 times, and the word woman is mentioned 24 times. And I believe, isn't that the amount of chromosomes that we have?
Yep.
24. So this is just a few. By the way, this is just a few of them.
That's just the mathematical
and that's
stuff.
just the numerical side. Now go to historical, and then you explain to me how he wrote this on his own. Because if he wrote this on his own, he's a genius. He's the smartest guy ever, and we don't even believe the prophet wrote this.
There was no microscopes. There was nothing. The human embryo, the 4 phases of the human embryo. I said this on the show before. Chewed substance like literally how the human embryo looks. There was no microscopes, Julian. They didn't have one for 1,000 years later. Like a primitive microscope, not even one that could see the human embryo. How could he have known? It's in the book. It's literally mentioned in the Quran, the 4 phases of the development of the human embryo. How? So to us, you don't think we think like people like you do. You don't think I thought like you do before. I do. Some guy walked on water. You got to be a fucking idiot to believe that. Let's be real. We're gonna be real. Let's be real. Let's leave it all on the fucking table. Some woman was a virgin and she had a baby. Some guy went with a stick like this and said, Red Sea part. Like, I don't think that sounds fucking foolish. Of course, my common sense tells me that. But when you actually look into it, Julian, if you actually look into it, how I've come to accept those stories, because that does not make sense in today's world. Some guy walked on water, bro. Brought people back from it's like algebra, bro. I know this book is perfect. I know God exists. X plus Y gives me the Z, bro. I don't accept the Z. To me, the Z is the unknown. I didn't get to see Jesus walk on water. I know this book came from God, bro. I challenge anyone to go against it. I challenge anyone to look up the miracles of this book. And they're going to see, Julian. I'm not I've never been, do I look like the kind of guy that follows people? I do what the fuck I want to do. Let's be real. I've been an alpha my whole life.
An alpha.
I don't listen to, I was excessive talking in class, most likely to have his own talk show. It all came true. Okay, I had a big mouth my whole life. I couldn't work in the corporate. I hated people, bro. Tell my boss, you're a fucking moron to their face. I never left a job peacefully. I scorched earth everything. I made sure I could never get back on the boat. I told my bosses to go to hell in front of the entire office, and that was a very nice way of saying it. What I'm trying to say is I'm not the kind of person that humbly follow, kumbaya, my Lord. I couldn't deny what I found. I couldn't deny what I was seeing. This is not even covering his prophecies. This is just what's in the Holy Quran. This is what's just coming, what we believe directly from God. Mathematical perfection. Even where the word Mecca is mentioned is exactly in the center of the book, which we believe, if you look at latitude and longitude, I believe there's some mathematical miracles with that also, latitude and longitude-wise, of where that box is positioned.
And these are just pure evidences. This is empirical evidence that we're looking at for proving that the Quran is from a divine source. This isn't emotional and being like, just believe what I believe and remove your logic. No, let's look at it together. Okay, the historical miracles. This one is personally my favorite. And the reason I looked this up is because I'm accountable for every single word that comes out of my mouth. If I say one thing wrong and someone catches me on it, not only am I responsible on Judgment Day, but that can then turn someone's heart away from listening to me. Oh, he was wrong about this. Let me just wipe away everything else he said, even though it might have been a sincere mistake. So everything I say, I'm very, very careful that it is factual at the end of the day, okay? So if you were to pull up Quran 30, 2-4, it says, the Romans have been defeated in the nearest land, but after their defeat, they will be victorious within 3 to 9 years. So a modern day comparison of this would be like, right now a man comes and he's saying, I'm from God, right? And Ukraine just got toppled by Russia. It's even called Russia, right? And this guy comes and says, in 3 to 9 years, not only will Ukraine become Ukraine again, but they're going to take over all of Russia. You'd say that's insane. That's insane. And if you were a false messenger, why would you make such bold claims? That's like if you're sports betting and you're making a parlay and the odds are 1 in the trillions, in the quadrillions, with all the different predictions that this book says, contradicting science at the time, contradicting what historians would predict is going to happen. You're contradicting the modern logic. It's not as much logic, it's more so the common consensus at whatever that time is with something scientific or historical, and you're right every time, every single time. Every single time. There's not one false prediction in the Quran or from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is why I'm so passionate about it. Because you can't disprove it. I haven't seen any real evidence disproving that this book is from God. All they can do is take stuff out of context. The point that he asked me was, why did you accept Islam, right?
Yeah.
You said, why did you accept Islam? You already agreed with the first part. The second part, is he a true prophet or not?
Muhammad. Yeah.
This is why I accepted Islam. This is why. I looked at these evidences. I said, this book, in my head, it's more than likely that this is a messenger on behalf of our creator. And then after accepting Islam, just saying that one sentence, slowly I start praying. Once a week, twice a week, once a day. Let me make my prayers up at night. And then slowly it just keeps incrementing.
Did it change how you felt?
100%, bro. You go to levels spiritually that you didn't even understand were possible.
Like, can you describe that?
Like seeing dreams that come true.
Like, I don't stress anymore, bro. With dreams, that's one of the things, you can get insight onto what potentially is going to be happening in your life, or, reflection on something that happened in your life. I'm not stressed anymore.
Too many coincidences.
There's something, one of the 6 articles of faith is believing in God's divine decree. So if something doesn't go your way, the Prophet Muhammad said, don't say, if something doesn't go your way, don't say, if only I had done something else. Rather say, God has decreed what he wills. Verily, the phrase, if only, opens the way for the work of Satan. If only, because that's you thinking that you have more control and power than you do. If you were supposed to go on a boat and meet some people, this is what happened to me 2 days ago, and you missed it. It wasn't meant to be on that boat.
The boat might have crashed.
Or maybe I would have met a girl and fallen into a sin or something, and God's protecting me. Whatever it is. Do you know what I'm saying?
You just accept kind of like...
Yeah, but do you worry sometimes you might write off mistakes you make and say, well, that was just fate?
You can analyze the moves that you made and see if you could have done something else. But at the end of the day, if you weren't meant to be there, you weren't meant to be there. So like with, this literally just happened to me 3 days ago, actually. All right. At night, this is one of the stories you were asking about. I had a call the next day with one of my coaches that was really important. I didn't want to miss it. So I prayed and I was like, yo, God, before that, my cousin,
yo, homie G, what's up?
My cousin booked an excursion to go on a boat for that whole day. So I probably would have missed the call. It was like a really tight thing. So the night before I said, yo, God, just whatever you got to do, just get me to that call, please. Whether I go on the boat and we're back in time or I miss the boat, whatever it is. Okay, that morning we go, the bus already left. We missed the boat. We couldn't get there. And we were even trying to get cabs. We couldn't get cabs. It just was not meant to be to go and make it. And then the people that we knew that did make it on the boat, they didn't get back till 7:30 p.m. I would have missed the call. That's just one little example of what I'm talking about, is when you pray for even small things, like, let me just make it to this. And then it works out perfectly every single time.
I see.
So the whole point that I'm making, and then I'll let Beck go, is that I didn't accept Islam to just become Muslim and enforce rules on people or anything. It was purely logical. I said my testimony of faith. Over time, I slowly started taking it more seriously as I kept looking into the evidences of it, watching debates, this and that, losing my love of sins. And then that's what's gotten me to where I am today. It was very incremental.